Hello, my name is Bram Lagrou. I'm the founder and managing director of Lagrou Partners. I'm addressing you now if you're an executive or a partner in a law firm. Welcome to the program. There are 4 trends that we have observed that are right now occurring in the legal profession. First thing and foremost is there is a serious attempt to reduce costs by reducing floor space and headcount. Secondly, there is a big focus as well on a proactive approach to business development. The days that the phones would be ringing automatically are long time gone, and so have you already noticed. Third, the legal profession is right now moving away from a more adversarial to a more collaborative approach. In a collaborative approach, which is all about engagement of both staff as well as clients and suppliers. Fourth, because of the intrinsicalities of the business, there is more and more support offered by the top executives as well as the partners within the firm with the personal development of staff to increase performance and boost obviously the productivity of the company's culture. Now, before I actually start talking about 3 initiatives that you can implement within your organization right away, I would like to actually expand on 3 important informations to keep in mind as we go through this all. First thing and foremost, a very important statistic to be aware of. 1 out of 3 lawyers at some stage in their life, in their professional career, will suffer from a major depression. Now, this is one of the highest rates across industries in Australia and even worldwide. 1 out of 3. It's a staggering number. As a psychologist and also a past manager of a Fortune 500 company, I can say that this number doesn't have to look that way. The challenge is, at times in the legal profession, is to manage the different responsibilities that go along with the job. Is A, being a good expert and working on behalf of a client and winning the work or winning the case for the client, but also making sure that you balance it out with personal values. And sometimes when these things are in conflict, that will lead inevitably to some personal discomfort. It will cause stress. Over time, it will lead into burnout. And again, it can lead to a serious depression. So these rates don't have to be taken as such. We can get better at it and overcome those rates or even reduce them significantly. Again, obviously a serious cost to the business right now that we can turn around 180 degrees. Secondly, lawyers, they typically tend to really score very highly on the analytical scales of any personality test, any assessments that you can conduct in terms of their thinking styles and so on. Having said that, they score very high on those analytical skills, but then they also are amongst the lowest scores across industries in terms of sociability, what we call sometimes people skills. It is a huge opportunity to increase those numbers at the bottom to become more effective. And we've noticed that, for example, on some of the personality and professional profiles that are used within the industry, that a typical lawyer would be only scoring about 8% out of a total scale of 100, which again is at the far bottom of the scale on sociability. But that top performers, the rainmakers as we call them, the trusted advisors within their field that bring on a lot of work, they would typically score 4 points or 4% higher, being 12%. The difference is not big, but the difference in terms of the results and the amount of work they bring on, the amount of billable hours they generate, and the fees they take back to the company is tremendous, as you are well aware. One last thing to be mindful of in this equation. Very often you will find that a law firm that at times is less technically advanced, which has less high-class professionals working for them to do the work, the technical work. At times they will bring on more work just by the mere fact that they are outranking the other law firms in people skills. They are just so good and natural with people so that clients feel more comfortable in giving them the work so that if you are, let's say, left behind with less people skills, that you will lose out of the business altogether. I will be sharing 3 key strategic objectives that you can look at to implement in your organization in order to increase productivity and profitability. Here's the first one. personal. It's looking at a personal level here. Nothing changes unless we change. And so as a partner in a professional services firm or a law firm, or an executive in the same industry, it's really important for us to be mindful of how we go about personal mastery, leadership, personal leadership. Not just leadership in terms of the skills we have for others, but how can we be a role model, an inspiration, a source, be a creator of an environment of high trust, high self-esteem, and motivation to really get the very best out of our people. That is bringing it back first to ourselves. Really be able to look inside the mirror and become that type of person that we need to become in order to take people with us on the journey, whether they are internal or external people. It's important that we are that kind of person that seriously walks the talk, sets themselves apart, and become a role model within the organization. That is number one. By the same token, same level, we talk still about self-mastery. Because of the nature of the legal profession and the personality profile that we are talking about, there's a lot of skepticism and comes with the profession. I'm not judging it. What I'm saying is there tends to be a very skeptical and at times negative type of spin to the personality of a lawyer. So the point on psychological level is quite devastating at times. What we need to make sure that we do is that we channel our negative emotions, that we also build our self-esteem to such a point that we become more positive, more vibrant, more engaging, more feeling harmonious within. Because only if we do that, we can be more, let's say, reflect that back in the outside world and attract more people, more clients, more high performers, and keep those people working with us over the long haul. So that was number one, the personal side of things. Secondly, on a business level, we seriously need to put a system together, a proven system, or use it and implement it, not just by one or two rainmakers. We need to seriously implement it across the board. It needs to be a duplicatable system, similar to what McDonald's would have been used to become the world-class brand that now everybody is familiar with. We need to have those systems in place on a business development perspective, on that level, the marketing side of things, so that we can seriously stand out in our profession, seriously pretty much win the hearts and minds over by the mere professionalism of the follow-up, the engagement, staying in touch, adding value, being that thought leader who is really a valuable resource that people turn back to. That is the business development system. And in my research, my experience, not very many have such a system right now. Not very many have it before we start working with them. So get serious about this system. That's number two. As a third one, I would also like to expand on the cultural side of things. Very often I hear the name silo being mentioned. We don't need any silos anymore. The communication should run more smoothly. So it's really important for a law firm, given the circumstances that we're in, the marketplace that we find ourselves in, that we don't get lost and drown pretty much in the things that we don't control. We need to build the machine, build the environment, as I referred to earlier, in order to create the results that we're looking for. We can be highly productive right now in these challenging times. We can be the one who takes market share away from other law firms. We can be the go-to, not just person, but the go-to company or firm within the industry that sets the benchmark for all the rest behind us. It's about creating that culture. It's about creating a culture that has an appetite for change, all whilst mitigating the risk, and obviously making sure that the change is valuable, that the change is seen as an opportunity to do better and get better at things, and not just seen as change for change's sake, because that doesn't lead anywhere. It needs to be purposeful. It needs to be supported. It needs to bring people together and engage the entire workforce. Those are three key strategic initiatives that you can implement now over the next few months. My name is Bram. It's been a pleasure working with you, and I look forward to talking to you soon.